Hi everyone, I am Angie Caney and this is my channel, Team's Treasures. And today I wanted to work on some die storage organization. So I feel like I've done a lot of organizing in my little small space of a craft room here. And ideally what I would like, but I don't have the space for, would, at least at the moment, is like bins, clear or not clear, but be able to store these dies and put them in the baskets or bins, and so that you can kind of flip through them and see what you have. I don't have space for that, but what I do use are these large 3-ring binders. So what I want to do is, I have been collecting more dies, primarily from Anna Griffin, and usually hers are larger and require a little more space than the smaller ones you see that you can keep in like the little 5x7 or 4x6 clear pockets. So what I like to do is put them on sheets of magnet, maybe on a piece of cardstock, either the one that it comes with, or I might keep the card or some chipboard, maybe from packaging, or like cracker boxes, cereal boxes, nothing too elaborate. And then put everything together, and then it goes into a sleeve for the binder. And what I have noticed is that I have several dies, maybe not as many as most, but it's quite a bit for me. I have 4 binders full right now, and they're just, too full. So I have got a couple new binders that I want to kind of reorganize and put together in my binders, and I need to kind of come up with some categories. So that's my plan. I'm going to pull out my binders and kind of go through and see what categories I need to come up with. I already have a few, and maybe I just need to make like binder 2 of the same category, but that's what I'm going to work on. I'm going to pull them out and kind of go through it, and I'll let you know as I'm going through, maybe just a voiceover, and then I'll show you at the end how everything comes together. So like this is one of my binders that is, too full. And to be honest, I'm a little nervous about putting them all on my desk at once, because this is a DIY desk. You can't see it right here, but I've kind of done some videos with it before. It's the stackable wire storage system that my desktop is just sitting on. So it does concern me a little bit about how much these weigh, just to kind of give you an idea. I have a scale. Okay, this particular one is 10.5 pounds. This is my biggest one. And my little scale won't go that high. I just keep getting an error message, and I don't want to break it. So we'll just know that it's more than 10.5 pounds. So what I've done is that this one says easel cards and specialty cards. So like the locket card, it's not an easel, but I kind of consider it special. Like the sliding card dies. This is one I don't even think I've actually made yet, but it's the bouquet that you open and the bouquet pops out. So that's what I mean about categories. So easel cards and specialty cards. This one just says words and accessories. And what I did was I went through and made all these little pockets using the baseball card holder sleeves and put in the smaller ones so that they're on just little individual magnet pieces and on a piece of cardstock so that you can flip through and find your accessories. And then kind of, well, then I started adding like our mystery box die sets. So I don't know, I'll probably just mix those into wherever I feel like they apply, but like here's the birds and here's the butterflies. So that's my accessories. And then I have some random ones that I keep saying I'm going to do something with, and I haven't. So I need to get those put into something. And then this one always gives me Disney vibes. And that may not be Anna's plan, but that's how I see a lot of it. Like, you know, the carriage. It's very Disney-esque. The ship, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean. This is the Pulley card, which has nothing to do with Disney, but you can load it up with tons of Disney things, and it's just a pretty card. And then here was the circus. Obviously, to me, Dumbo, the Wishing Well, Snow White. This is a fountain, and if you know Disneyland, there is one just like this in front of the Haunted Mansion. There's the flower cart, so like the flower carts on Main Street, the ferry. So it's not Tinkerbell, but I could go with Tinkerbell vibes. The flower shop, any shop on Main Street. Mirror easel, you know, mirror, mirror. So the Evil Queen, Snow White again. And then all the paper shoes, any princess. All the little handbags, any princess. The teapot, so the teacups, Alice in Wonderland teacups ride. And then the teacups that pop out. A carousel, King Arthur's carousel, the train on Main Street. This one I did, this is a slimline Woody car. There's a similar car in California Adventure. Hot air balloon just reminded me of it. Nothing specific. There is a hot air balloon in Disney Springs, at Disney World, obviously the castle, and then the Ferris wheel, California Adventure. Here is the slimline carriage, the clock, Cinderella. These are starbursts. To me, that's fireworks. And then just the mini album set, which I think I can pull out. And then this is like the waterfall die set I can pull out. And then this was, I didn't have anything in particular, but it was the carriage. And then this was the clock. And so Beauty and the Beast, Cogsworth. So that's how I see all that. So I'm going to pull a few of these out because it's not going to be Disney. And I need to make some space. I think with the carriage set, I did make one with Winnie the Pooh. It does have a little bear with it. Okay, so I can pull these out, and that will free up some space. This just came apart. And then I've tried different magnets, sheets that you can get on Amazon. And obviously not all magnet sheets are created equal, and there are different thicknesses. So, and this one, I want to say I ordered this off eBay because it's already on a magnet sheet and it's labeled. I typically don't label mine. I have been with the mystery box just so that I know it's mystery box. But I want to say this is a set I ordered on eBay. And I can tell because the dies aren't sticking nicely to the magnets. And so the ones I have used, I'll put a link below. Some of them, like you can tell, this is Anna's. And it's almost, it fits the die, but it's too big for the binder. But you can tell the thickness is like the cardstock that it's made out of. And then there's the magnet. I don't know if you can see that well enough in the camera, but I would say it's like maybe 50-50. 50-50 is magnet and the other half is the chipboard. But that's what makes it sturdy, is more of the chipboard than the magnet. So just something to note, like if you're going to be doing this, I really think it's more of the chipboard that you're putting it on than the magnet piece. I have tried different ones, like this one. This is a good set, like it's not falling out. And I would have to go back and look, like there's different ml thicknesses. And I don't know exactly which one this is. But my point is, you don't have to get the thickest one. Like I think 60 ml is probably the thickest you'll find on eBay, but really, not eBay, Amazon. But really, I put this on just some cardstock. Now there is some thickness in the sleeve just because I have this other thing on the back, but really you can tell that nothing's moving like the other ones. They just kind of fell off. So I would go at least, I want to say, like, I have to go look and see what they are, but 20 comes to mind. So I'm just going to leave these. I'm probably going to take out the pulley die set also, just because I have two other binders to fill. And to be perfectly honest, I need to make sure I have enough sleeves. And that was the other thing too, in my experience in the beginning, was I just bought some cheap sleeves thinking it'll hold, it's not a big deal. That matters also. You want to get a heavyweight sleeve for your binder. Okay, so that instantly makes this more doable. It's not too full that it won't close. I think I've missed one. Cotsworth needs to go back. Okay. So this one can go here for now. So what I need to work on also is words and accessories. So these are all going to stay. And let me bring you a little closer so you can kind of see what I'm working on. Okay, so these are all the accessories. And this was the idea sheet to go with it. There are some others here. So this is where I was putting my mystery box dies, and for the moment I'm just going to leave them here. No, I'm going to take them out because I wouldn't consider these accessories yet. The butterflies, yes. I'll probably leave the butterflies there. So the card stand, some more flourishes. And typically I think I would like these in my embossing folders, but because they're dies also, it makes more sense that they are in here. So these are the cut and emboss folders. Here are the feathers, butterflies, insects, because there's a bee, and I purposely also got this bee, and I got this set off eBay as well. And I want to say the person sent it on this sheet. And then these are the hummingbirds, dogs. Okay, so this is the tropical dies, and I feel like I want to put or make a sleeve for the new set we just got. This was the July mystery box, and I've kind of been trying to label them so that I know what they were from. So I have some sleeves here. So I think I'm just going to slide this one in back here instead of it getting its own sleeve for the moment. So I have sewing. These are they're cut and embossed. I believe it's called cartouche. Sometimes it's hard to read the font. And I really thought this was going to be exciting. The cartouche ones, I thought that'll be an instant spot for whatever little sentiment. But I really wish she would come out with a sentiment stamp set, because I really don't have anything to go in there, which isn't entirely true. I did buy a set of stamps, and I have to find where I put them and include it. And I saw it not too long ago when I reorganized the craft room. So I'll have to find it and stick it with it. But she also had like the pre-printed ones to go in here, and I didn't get those. And now these are the older dies that you could do. This was the original pop-up card. And then here's just some more accessories. And I don't have the idea sheets for these. Either it didn't come with them, which I'm sure is not the case, or I have misplaced them. And maybe because it was these little ones, like this is a bow. So the bow should go here. Okay, so, and I did get, when I was at the Stamp and Scrapbook Expo last year, I picked up some of these small dies that were, you know, on the cheapy side, that I keep saying I'm going to do something with, and I haven't, but they would work nice with the ones I already have. So I'm going to just slip these in. They need magnets, but for now they can stay in here. And these are the ones which I don't know if we like or not, but it is already attached, so I need to go get some like wire cutters, snips, and cut that apart. but it would work nice with this set. And then the same with these dragonflies. They can go in here, just so I'm not hunting. So what do I have on the back? I have these birds. I feel like the dogs can go somewhere towards the back. So the other thing I have been trying, and I did a separate video on this because this is, in my opinion, a little more cost effective, is that you can go to Home Depot and order these. They're vent cover magnets, and comes with a piece of chipboard that's just for packaging, but it's going to work really nice for what I need. You get 3 of these sheets for like $8. And you're going to be using your chipboard, so that's a nice little bonus. So I'm just going to cut off a small piece, and I'm going to stick my extras right there and put it here, and then include it in another sleeve. So I just kind of made a mark where I think it should work, and I don't want to trash my blade, but I'm going to make a kind of a mark right there just so I can see where to cut. Okay, so I'm just going to cut it. You know, this is already on chipboard. I probably could have saved. I'm going to save this piece. Okay, I'll go back later and cut those out, but now they're together. Let's do it this way. You can see it. Well, I don't know. I like things to be matchy-matchy, and so when you open this page, the idea sheet will match the dies, and then I'm just going to put these in the back of here. It could go there, but we're just going to stick it here. So the only thing I think I would pull out of this one was, if there was one up front. If anything, it would be these card layers that could possibly go in another section. But that's kind of an accessory. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let's see, let's take these out. Oh, look. I guess this is just pretty generic. How to use your magnetic cutting mat. Cut and emboss dies. I think back in the day when we got, oh, this was Sizzix. Our cut and emboss dies, before they were 3D, we would cut first and then put the mat on and emboss. So I did keep those. See if that makes it any smaller. It doesn't make it any smaller. I'm going to take these out, and then I have some blank sleeves at the back. See if that makes it any better. So not a lot. So I'm going to take out a few more things here. And then lastly was the easel cards and specialty cards. I think I'll take those out. I think this is the only slim line I ever bought, and I technically still have not made anything with it. And then these are the concentric frames. So I think I'm going to take all these out and create a binder that just has like the frames for the fronts of cards. That's kind of what all of this is. This was the main mystery box. And this is a pop-up cake that I still haven't done anything with. So these are all going to come out. And this, I can save this. This can go. And then this was one of the die sheets, magnet holders that it came on, but it's too big. So it just sits here in the back. And I feel like this should go in another spot, but for the moment, we'll keep it here. So I can pull this one out. And then when I did a baby shower, I made all of these as examples to kind of give the mom a visual of what it was going to be like in hand. So I have a bunch of these. It's just kind of nice to be able to have a visual. Okay, so that closes better. Okay, now I have the new binders to work with. And you can see this is the flimsy version versus the heavy version. And it's definitely worth getting the heavy version. So I'm going to go ahead and use the flimsy version anyway. And it's just going to hold this piece of paper here, so it should be fine. This doesn't have an idea sheet, so it can go in the front. This is the compendium set. I'm embarrassed to say I don't think I've done anything with these. I think once I get them in my book, I feel like it's out of sight, out of mind. And that's why I would like to have some kind of, you know, like one of these baskets, which that's probably too big, or not big enough, I mean, but you could, you know, have it here and then you could flip through. You know, this needs to stay together. I put it back to back. I mean, I feel like these could be accessories. Like the bow should be an accessory. But I'm just out of space. I'm going to go back and put these with the butterflies. And this is pop-up stuff. So did I have more pop-up? So I think what I'm going to do is I have one more book. And I think I'm going to make it an accessories too. Technically, all these little ones are accessories. So maybe I'll bring over the dog. He doesn't kind of seem to fit. And then I can bring in these butterflies. What do we have up here? This is the pulley and the mini album stuff. Okay, I like to put a piece of cardstock on them just to keep everything kind of uniform, same size. Not everything is, but I try. Well, I just made a boo-boo, but it'll be okay. I grabbed them and there was 2 sheets here. I didn't necessarily need to cut that second one. Oh, and I got all these little ones too. So let me take a quick break. I just want to go through this one more time and then I'll show you how I have got these all organized, and then I need to come up with labels for the front. So just give me a minute. Okay, as I was going along, I realized I missed looking through a binder, and this is my For Him and Sports, and then Crafter's Companion. So I want to go through here and pull out what doesn't belong, or maybe just kind of reorganize a little bit more. So the motorcycle, the tractor. Oh, and if you didn't see this, I do like adding this idea. You can get these little pockets on Amazon. I'll put a link for them in the description box. And then as you have like extra pieces from that die set, you can just stick them in here. In fact, I have one sitting here from when I made this, and I have like the extra seat left over. So I'm just going to stick it in here for now. This way you have extra pieces when and if you need them. So I thought that was brilliant. The shoe, the men's shoe, the cut and emboss, For Him set. There was the barbecue set, a sports set. And then here's where I think I need to pull this one out. This is the bicycle. It's a girl's bicycle, does not go for him. So she's coming out. The unicorn is coming out. The house set can stay. Kind of, I don't mean Anna's generic, but the die. And then I'm into Crafter's Companion, which I did make, and I kept all the little pieces to kind of show what it's doing. Oh, and then these are accessories. So this needs to go into the accessories section. So I'm just going to leave Crafter's Companion alone and keep that all together. And then that'll make this book smaller. And I need to go back because apparently I can't spell either. I have Craftsers. So that's why I need new labels. So I feel like I'm getting closer. These are card fronts, easel card, and specialty cards. So I feel like I need to kind of go through this one more time and find the accessories. This is more accessories, so I'm going to put those with the accessory binder. And I'm going to kind of keep these two. This is the mini album set, which I want to say, yes, there is more to it than that. There are frames with this. Ooh, so now I have a conundrum. Do I keep together in accessories, because these are frames that can go on the front? You know, we'll see. And then this can go in a mini album. So I want to keep those together, but at the back. So actually, I'm going to pull this back out. I'm going to put that back in. And put these here. So this is Sizzix, I believe. Spellbinders? Spellbinders. Okay, so I'm back. My camera so rudely ran out of battery yesterday as I was nearly completing the process of reorganizing my binders. So I want to show you what I did towards the end, because I like things to be matchy-matchy. And since I had black binders and pink binders, and I didn't want to go out and replace all my black ones because they're not cheap, I decided to make some nice titles for the front of my binders. And I had kind of done that, but it wasn't anything in particular. So what I did was, and I'll let you know, I did cheat. I did use ChatGPT, but I purchased some 12 by 12 cardstock, sorry, brain, and cut it down so that it fits into the front of these binders. And then what I asked ChatGPT to do was to design a title page, and then I labeled each of my binders, and then I left lines so that I can include what's in each binder so I don't have to search through each one. So I'm just going to add that to the front. Okay, so I'm going to trim that down just a hair. Okay, there we go. So I named this one Elegant Cards and Inserts. So like here's the slider card. This has the swing out dies, which I have yet to do. This is the wiper card, the pop-up bouquet dies. I don't think I've done this one yet either. And I apologize, I took my contacts out. I really like this one. I know it's a Christmas theme, but it's the photo card easel dies. I just use it for whatever occasion. The rocker card, the square flip, and then these were all of like the jacket cards. So that's, I'm not going to show you all of them, but so these, that's what I meant by inserts, is that a lot of those you just put in a card. And then I also made a spine, and I stack my binders like this so they're going this direction so you can read them on the shelf. And then I made this one. This one is easels and frames, same thing, that you can write down what is in each of my binders, and I need to do that. So like this is the pulley, the bike, the unicorn, baby carriage, and I want to say this is more like a mix of everything, like the slimline, and then these were the frames, so they would go on the fronts of cards. So that was kind of my method for organizing That's easels and frames. And then I kind of probably went through this the most, Disney vibes. I didn't do much with this. I pulled out a couple just to make this smaller that weren't exactly Disney vibes. Like the baby carriage was nice, but didn't exactly fit. This one was my words and accessories. So all of my dies with words, and then like the accessories to go with cards or to make the cards. And then I made a for him, and this one's in blue. It stands out more. But this was like the motorcycle, the tractor, the shoe, sports, the barbecue. And I did put the house in here. And then I put my crafter's companion at the back. And then the last one is where I made accessories 2. Since I already had words and accessories, that must be down there. This is just accessories 2. So like the dogs, here was the sewing, and this is where I put like the extra little die sets that I had picked up along the way. I put it in with the sewing. And these were the other, I say cheap just because I don't remember who made them, or I got them at the Scrapbook Expo. And just more accessories that can go to building a card. So technically these little tools could probably go in the hem. I might move those over later. And then here's my kind of mini album section. So there's room to grow in here in my accessories, which is fine because we always get our accessories. So that is my little system I made. Maybe give you some ideas or encouragement. Again, the magnets, I got these particular ones at Home Depot, and always use the thicker heavyweight sheet protectors. These were just Walmart. And then if you want to make smaller slots, these are the baseball card ones. So, all right, well, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm still working on my channel, so if you happen to be new here and want to give me a thumbs up and a subscribe, I would appreciate it. I am up to 1,500 and almost 60 subscribers, and I would like to have 2,000. That is my goal for this year. So I always like to say it is free for you to do, but priceless to me. So I appreciate it. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye.